The partition of India into the twin nations of India and Pakistan in 1947 marks a history, a violent history of displacement, dispossession, and dismemberment as millions of people were uprooted and they were forced to migrate on both sides of the border. What the state sponsored official history does not represent in school textbooks, in university curricula, or elsewhere is this violent history, the violent reality of the partition. What also remains strikingly underrepresented is the sexual violence during the partition that both men and women suffered at the borders. My work particularly focuses on the sexual violence suffered by women citizens of India and the relationship of the state, the role of the state in legitimizing that violence. I primarily evoke the theoretical framework of biopolitics, popularized and discussed by Michel Foucault. Biopolitical power is basically state power, that is, political power used by the state to regulate and mandate the biological lives of human citizens, in this case, the women citizens of the state. In 1947, with the partition going on, women, irrespective of their religion, were abused, raped, and abducted on both sides of the border by men. And there was no authoritative intervention of the state to stop that violation. Subsequently, in 1949, the state passed the Abducted Persons Recovery and Restoration Act, an act that allowed or that legitimized the state with the power to recover and restore women, abducted women from both sides of the border to their original homelands. And nobody paid any heed to what the women wanted. Often, these women, these abducted women, would come back to their families and they would be rejected, shamed, or worse, killed by their own family members because they were considered impure. Thus, in both the cases, women were denied all forms of agency, something that is represented through the long silence in women's voices narrating their lived experiences of the partition. My research seeks to uncover this complex relationship between the state and its women citizens, especially in exploring questions of sovereignty and legal political rights. I intend to look at literatures, films, memoirs that give voice to the unheard and also collect personal stories of trauma while I'm doing my fieldwork. Starting from the India Pakistan border to contemporary US Mexico border, discussions around gendered violence remain the need of the hour. The larger aim of my work is to raise questions regarding contemporary issues of state violence on women and women's bodies and situate it within a global context of migration, biopolitics, gender, and memory studies. Thank you.